There are 3 things to keep in mind when creating a lesson that will help you engage your students, stand out among other Outschool teachers, and sell out your classes. And those 3 things are build, diversify, and gamify. We'll go through your lesson with these 3 things in mind so you can create a new lesson that is fun, engaging, and exciting, or update a current lesson. So let's jump in. You can do this right along with me. Just go ahead, grab this free lesson plan template down below, and you are good to go. So let's start. Okay, here's our lesson plan, and our first step is to build our lesson. So the foundation of our lesson, what are we teaching? What is the goal of our lesson? So here I have my title of my lesson, and this lesson I'm creating is specifically for a self-paced class. And in a previous video, I went over like the overview of my self-paced class, so I knew which lessons to teach, how long it was going to take me to teach. So now I'm pulling the lesson out of there, going and diving in deeper to make sure this specific lesson is engaging. So it's about fast trick, multiplication trick. Now I need my objective. My overall goal of this lesson is for students to know some fast tricks, get those fast tricks up their sleeve, and become proficient. Okay, my materials, I'm not sure what I'm going to be using to teach this lesson, so I'm just going to skip over this part. I will come back. My intro, now that is my intro to this lesson. Just real quick, letting my students know what we are teaching. So in my video, I'm going to say, hey, we're going to learn a fast trick for multiplication fact 9. Keep them very simple, just letting your students know what they will be learning throughout your video lesson. Okay, hook. I want a hook to be quick and catchy to get them excited and to hook them in to my lesson. Hooks, these can be video clips, this could be a story that ties into your lesson material, could be a joke, anything that ties into your lesson that students would like. So maybe I can find like a multiplication joke and then to tie it into there. Okay, here is the bulk of our lesson, the meat. We have our model where we're going to teach our content. I'm going to be following the I do, the I do part. And then we have the group work, the we do, and in self-paced classes, we can still get response from students. It might look a little different than a live class, but we can still act like we're working together. And then I'm going to have a practice section. What can we practice together, either together as a class or send home? You do this yourself. Okay, so model, teach my content. I'm going to teach my multiplication fact 9 trick. So I'm going to just teach the trick. Now this part of our formula is just building. So I'm going to teach the trick. We'll get into how in just a second. We're going to go back through this. The group work, we're going to practice this together. And then the practice part, I'm going to have them just answer a couple of 9 fact multiplication. And for me, maybe I'm going to list out what they are. These are the problems I want them to be able to do individually. Okay, first step, very simple. Build our lesson plan. What is it we absolutely need to teach? And this formula, I teach this formula to my coaching students, and their lessons have gone from teaching with static slides to teaching with games and selling out their classes and making learning fun and classes fun. So now we're going to go back through our lesson. We're going to diversify. Now, diversify, this means how am I going to teach it? And we're looking for fun and engaging ways. So teaching with I'm going to go back. These 3 sections are where we're really diversifying, gamifying. So diversify, now ask the question, how? How am I going to teach this? And we can just keep building on the layers, building up your ideas. So teaching the trick, I can use slides. I can just record myself. So this is our I do section. So I will record, this will be myself recording, showing the 9 trick with our finger. This is how I want to teach this. Diversify. So our group work, we're going to practice it together. And because this is a self-paced class, I will be, again, recording myself, and then these slides can be in the background, and I can ask a question. Okay, here's our question, 9 times 3. Now we're going to match our activity. So we're going to drag and drop the correct picture for the hands to the correct multiplication equation. Then you can drag and drop the answer as well. And with Google Slide, I can share this activity that I create with my students. So they can see it in my video, they can do it with me, but they also have the copy of the activity where they can drag and drop it as well. So really make it interactive. And I love teaching how to create drag and drop activities. And if you want to know how to create your very own drag and drop activity easily, Google Slides. I'm teaching a live workshop in September where I will show you how to create slides that will just shine and be really fun and interactive for your students. So I'm going to show you how to create your own drag and drop activity as well as a board game. Our last step in our formula is gamify. Gamify works really well with group work, so you're letting students work together, and practice. You really want to see what students can do on their own. Group work, we're here to practice, and I often reteach, help teach, play game is here as well. In this particular lesson though, a game works really well in our practice section. So I want a game, and in a self-paced class, this can be playing a game together, or I can send a link to a game or a link to a Nearpod lesson that Nearpod has some built-in games. Matching, there's time to climb, lots of options here. So in my lesson, we are going to play a board game. So I will share my screen and have a board game in my background. I'm going to give my students the question. I will have pre-made slides with all of these on my slide already. And then just click through the board game to the question, board game to the question. And I love board games because they're so versatile for any question, any subject. So in this board game, we'll answer the question, and I'm going to really give them time and space to solve it on their own during this part. So I'm going to give them the question, 9 times 4. And then I can give them, I'm going to take a break, a quick pause, and let them answer. And in this case, I will be using Nearpod because in Nearpod, it pauses your video and they get a chance to answer that question before they move on in the video. So I will ask the question, have the slides sharing my screen in the background, answer this question, do the 9 trick, and then that video will pause. They type in the answer on my screen, and then the video will play. And it will show me rolling the dice and moving both our characters on the board. And then the next question, the video will pause so they can answer on my screen, and then it will keep going, and I will roll the dice for myself and for them and move them. And that's our lesson. It does not take long to go through our formula that I teach my coaching clients, my teachers, how to really level up your lesson and diversify it with all these cool tech tools and gamify it as well, so we can make lessons stand out and sell out and retain your students so they keep coming back and back to your classes. does not take long. And I'm super excited for the teachers signing up for my live workshop in September, where I will show you how to create your very own drag and drop activity that you can create in any lesson. Drag and drop is versatile for a lot of subjects, and I will show you how to make a board game as well. And then immediately after, you will be able to create your own drag and drop activity and a board game that you can go now use in your classroom and to make your lessons stand out and fun and gamify them. So, that link's down below for my workshop. I'm so excited. And I just love watching all of my online teachers be able to go from static slides, from worksheets, to now drag and drop activities. Their students are playing games and they're having fun. And they can't wait to come back to their class the week after week after week because they're like, this is awesome. And if you are wanting to see more of what our group work looks like and our practice work looks like with our Diversify and Gamify, really dive into how those are created, different tools to create them, then be sure to click that video on your screen so we can really build up lessons that are awesome and fun with different tech tools and games.